So listen, babes. Listen real quickly. They're not going to like you. They're not going to like you. They're not going to like you because the path that you're on, the goodness that God is about to give you, they're not going to like you. They're not going to be there for you the way that they need to be there for you because they're so busy worried about the blessings that God has for you that they're not worried about the blessings he have for them. But that's another story. That's another story. That's another topic. That's another. I wanted to make this video for my new upcoming subscribers. If you've been new to the channel, been watching the channel, I want to say thank you. If you've been subscribed, I want to say thank you. So thank you to anybody who supports my channel. If you're new, like I said, tap the subscribe button. But I was literally just sitting working on some stuff and something prompted me to grab my camera and just make this video. It's still a mess in the room because like I told you guys, my goal is to get this room straightened up, to clear out some things, take some things to the Goodwill. But I've been finding that these last few days I have not been necessarily doing that because I have been working on other things. Like a little bit I've been cleaning up, but not like heavily. So if you see the mess in the background, just ignore the mess and receive the message, okay? Long story short, God is going to elevate you. Whether or not you believe in God or you do not, just I'm not here to press you or sway you to believe or not to believe. But what I will say, if you do not believe, God has done so many things in my life. He has brought me out of so many situations. He has opened my eyes to so much that was so hard. It's going to forever be hard for me to deny that he is real. However, if you don't believe in God, like I said, I'm not here to sway you. Hopefully at some point you will find what's right within. If you don't want to receive it on a biblical standpoint, on a God said go standpoint, then understand that this season of your life is meant for elevation. This season of your life is meant for you to go places. You guys hear me talk about elevation, growth, success all the time. So when we take that religious factor out of it, just understand that it's only up from here. No matter who you are, what you have going on. You could have had the roughest last year. Like 2024 could have been the roughest year of your life. 2020 could have been the roughest year of your life. Any year, yesterday could have been the roughest day of your life. Just understand that moving forward, there's going to be greatness. You are already chosen. When you understand that you are chosen and you understand that your life has meaning, it has purpose beyond yourself, when you understand that it's bigger than you, if there's a bigger picture, you're going far. You just need to find the way to channel the things that you need to channel within, channel them, work on them, and understand that in order to do bigger and better and greater things, you're going to have to adopt a spirit, a mentality of bigger and greater and better things. You are going to have to surround yourself with people of those things. I find that some of the things that I love to do, my passions, my hobbies, etc., have been clashing in atmospheres that are not conducive, even though it's things that I love to do. So sometimes you have to separate yourself. You have to set yourself apart from the distractions or set yourself apart from the drama in order to elevate and to be better. I've actually been having these conversations with a lot of people lately, and the topic that we always talk about is elevation. You guys hear me say all the time, in order to elevate, you have to separate. Separation requires elevation, or elevation requires separation. You guys hear me talk about that. I've been talking about this for a long time, and it's so crazy that I've had conversations recently where we talked about elevation and we've talked about success and we've talked about losing things that we, have built, took so much time to build up, that we don't want to lose behind foolishness, drama, or people who don't have things going for themselves. So while we understand that, it's easy to understand it, it's easy to acknowledge it, but at times there's going to be times where you're put in those situations and the test is your performance. How do you respond in these situations? I think that is one of the biggest things in my life right now. I feel like God is telling me a few things. One, he's telling me to shut up. Literally straight. Y'all know I'm an Aquarius, baby. Y'all know I'm straight, I'm direct, I'm blunt, I'm straight to the point. I feel like God is saying, just shut up this season. Just shut up. I really do have a lot of meaningful and positive and, things to say. But I believe that in situations when they do not serve me, God is telling me to shut up. There's no reason for you to need to say what you need to say. Just shut up. Just shut up. Just be quiet. I feel like the message for me is shut up, be quiet. Shut up and be quiet. I know it sounds harsh, but it is what it is. That is the message. I believe that if I bite that tongue, if you are a Christian and you read the book of James, you will understand that James chapter 1, in the book of James, it talks about the power of life and death is in the tongue. Literally, like, the tongue is literally a double-edged sword. It can uplift or it can bring down, but the power of life and death is in the tongue. And you all hear me say all the time, speak things as though they are. Speak life over yourself. Speak things into existence. The same words that come from your mouth are the same words that can either make or break you. If you are speaking of those things which are edifying, which is uplifting you, which is putting you in great spirits and better places, and you are speaking into existence the things that you want to obtain, or the things that you know that you've been praying for, those are the things that you are going to start to reap. You reap what you sow. So you have to plant the seeds. You have to put the action in, but you also have to speak those positive things over your life. If you're always talking negative, oh, I'm not going to be successful. Oh, I'm this age, or oh, I'm this background, or oh, I'm this, I'm that. There's no way anyone's going to take me seriously because I'm not this person, or I don't have this many followers, or I don't have. You are what you speak. You are the like I said, life and death is in the power of the tongue. I literally remember when I would talk to even myself or some of my friends, and we would just talk about how we could not wait to get to the blessings and the careers and the goals in which God had for us. And I used to just talk about how I could not wait till I knew where I was exactly where He wanted me to be. But all I had to do is build up from that foundation. But everything, the foundation is there. All I have to do is grow and elevate from there. And I'm at that place. So I am striving to make sure that I'm focusing on the intricate details to build me up. I know that it seems like no 2 days are the same in my life. It seems like things are up, things are down. I'm striving to build up my brokerage. I'm also dealing with my own personal and business and different conflicts or different things that are simultaneously happening. But I believe when elevation is happening, it's inevitable that you are going to experience one too many things. So you have to remember that even though it seems a little rocky, even though it seems like you're striving to balance so many things and the scales aren't balancing, you have to understand that even if the bad is outweighing the good, or the good is outweighing the bad, the scale is constantly moving. There will become a time where it will weigh out, it will balance. That's like when you go to the grocery store and they say weigh your vegetables, and you see a little scale and it's like you weigh it per pound, etc., right? You see how that scale jumps and how that scale goes down, right? Imagine a balancing scale, right? Imagine that you have too much going on in your life. You don't have your routine. You don't have your schedule. You don't have everything. So you have all this weight over here, but you have the motivation right here, which is, lightweight, very soft girl, very soft era. But you have all of this compound baggage here. The scales are obviously it's going to be, but when you start to remove the toxic people, the toxic friends, the toxic relationships, the toxic situations, you start to get back on routine. You start to lose that weight. You start to eat properly. You will notice that that scale that sits down here will start lifting because you are lifting the weight. So imagine when it balances itself. Now you're up on time. You're waking up early. You're on your routine. You're going to work. You're building your brand. You're doing a million things because now you have your energy back from eating taking your vitamins and just taking care of yourself. That's life. Life has a way of throwing so many curveballs and so many things at you, but you have to be willing to push through. You have to be willing to say, hey, I'm going through X, Y, and Z, but I'm going to overcome this. I know that, you know, weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. I know that there's going to be times where things don't go my way. And I know that there's going to be times where my vision seems to not be on track, but I'm not going to lose sight. There's a reason why they say the light is at the end of the tunnel. Because there's going to be periods of your life in which you're going to go through darkness. There's going to be periods of your life where things are just not going to seem like they're working out the way that you want to see them work out. But you can't give up. You cannot. The race is not given to the weak. It is given to the strong. So you have to understand that that light at the end of the tunnel is the reward. It's the reward for the adversity. It's the reward for the tragedy. It's the reward for everything that you had to endure on that journey to get to where you had to get to. Now, it's crazy. I always remember this book in my head that we read in school. I think I could have been in middle school or something like that. And my teacher had us read this book called Pilgrim's Progress. I read this book so long ago. I can't tell you the overall plot of the book. I can't tell you everything about that book, but I told myself I need to look that book back up because I want to read it at this big age. The book, the one thing that stuck out so much to me is in the book, the phrases that we use like obstinate and pliable, like those type of words that we use in our daily language, like pliable, able to work with, you know what I mean? Those type, that defining pliable for y'all, but in case you didn't know, but those different terms like that, obstinate, pliable, those different definitions were characters in the book. And I remember pliable and obstinate and all those things and the journey and all of that Pilgrim's Progress. And I'm like, am I remembering it properly, or is there something else that clicked in my head that came from another book? But I just remember a lot of the terms that we use were utilized in that book to describe certain things about a journey, but these are our everyday terms. So pliable, being able to be worked with, is a character in the book. Like I said, this had to be when I was younger when I read this book. It might have even been elementary, like 5th grade, 6th grade. I remember having to read the book. And I always tell myself when I get a moment, I want to either order that book or I want to put it on, like, order the hardback, paperback, or I want to order it on my Kindle or my iPad. Because I really want to see how can that book really tie into my life right now. Because I think that there were so many lessons. And you know how sometimes you'll read a book or you'll read something at a younger age, or you'll watch a movie, like me watching Rabbit Proof Fence when I was younger. That movie, y'all need to watch that movie, because if I was having tears in my eyes and I was crying on that movie when I was younger, I can only imagine how my emotions would be at this age, because of what I understood that message to be in that movie and how I interpreted that movie based in Australia with the Aboriginal people. Rabbit Proof Fence, look it up. It's like a 2-hour movie. I watched it when I was younger, and I remember it really resonated. Like, there were so many different things that really struck emotion in me, and I feel like at this age, if I were to watch that again, it would re-strike emotions, but on deeper levels, because I am older with more understanding. So that is how I feel about the book Pilgrim's Progress. I want to reread that and just see how that ties into life now. But like I said, this is your journey to win. This is your journey to elevate. Everybody who needs to be cut off, cut them off. Don't even think about it, sis. If they don't think about you, don't spend too much time thinking about them. And this is anybody. If you know me, you know anybody is liable to be cut off. Fake friends, older friends, new friends, acquaintances, family members, anybody, co-workers, anybody, industry people within your career industry, anybody can get cut off is the point I'm striving to make. So don't feel like just because you've got this length of time hanging out with these people, or you've been cool with this person or this, that means that you basically just have to keep them in your life. You don't. If they are a burden, cut them off. If they are a burden, let them go. It's not your loss, it's theirs. I don't feel like I've cut off anybody where I feel like, dang, I lost by cutting this person or these people off. I don't. Why? Because I know who I am, and I know whether or not I talk to people on a daily basis or I don't talk to you but every few months, I know the quality of person that I am. So for me to make a decision to say chop, 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 goodbye, there's really good reasons for me to do that when I'm a person who praises the fact that I actually maintain quality friendships and acquaintances and business relationships, etc. That's something to be prideful of in a good way, because you don't see it a lot of, like, you know, people making it through the storms as friends or making it through the storms. And you do, but you don't. You know what I mean? So for me, and like literally like lasting the test of time, like you don't want to ever become more and then you start losing key people, because it make you wonder, like, why do I have to cut you off at this big age? Why? Like, are you not happy for me? Do you secretly, you know, got some animosity toward me? Is it inspiration or is it hate? Like, so in the end of the day, just really don't worry about it. I'm not caught up in it. There's no gossip war, drama war that needs to be surrounded by it. But cut people off as you need to. There's no need to make the announcements. There's no need to drag it on social media. There's no need to do any of that. Sometimes people just simply do not fit your life. And this is the season where you have to realize it if you are planning to go anywhere. You cannot be sitting amongst people who do not clap for you when you win, or who will not speak volumes of your name when you are not in a room with them. I literally be handing out my agent's business cards when I'm out. They're not my business cards, but I'm like, hey, you looking to buy, sell, or invest in this area, hit her up. Yeah, we work together. You got my business card too, but hit her up. This is her area. Like, come on. You know what I mean? So, in the end of the day, how do you root for people when they're not in the room with you? How do you? Because it tells you largely how what people think of you. I'm not saying that you have to be the topic of conversation, but if something pops up, I'm like, oh yeah, my homeboy. Oh yeah, he lives out there where y'all are. He does this or he does that. Quick to not gatekeep and put somebody front line on what they do, if it can help their business grow and go places. So yeah, I'm big on that. So keep the people around who needs to be around. But this is your big season. This is your big era. This is your time to boss up. There's a lot that is going to happen for you this year. The only way it's going to happen is if you believe. The only way it happens is if you really start doing the things that you say you're going to do, need to do, and standing on business. Stand 10 toes on what it is you say you want to do, need to do, get it done. Set the goals. Set the weight loss goals, set the business goals, set the personal goals, set the vitamin goals, set the water goals, set all the goals. You might not get the results overnight, because in anything, you're not going to get overnight results. If you're working real hard on something and somebody just handed you the recipe, you're not going to appreciate it as much as it is for you to work for the recipe, right? Or for you to work for what it is that you say that you want to do or become. So don't get caught up in the, like, oh, this is not happening for me. It's not happening yet. Remember, life and death is in the power of life and death is in the tongue. So just because it's not happening right now doesn't mean it's not going to happen for you. Just because you're not getting the results that you want today doesn't mean they won't come tomorrow. So a lot of times we just get caught up on like not getting it on our time. We live in a fast food society where everybody wants everything now. Nobody wants to wait for a slow cooked meal or a crock pot meal cooked. When it comes down to our success and our goals, everybody wants a quick little McDonald's, like drop it in the fryer, drop it in the grease real quick, bring it up in a couple minutes. Like, if you want quality success, you want quality goals to be met, then you're going to have to set a foundation that you don't mind sitting in a crock pot for some hours, sitting in the crock pot for a while. Let your goals fester up. Let your goals marinate. Let your, vision become what it is. Because anything worth having won't come easy. And if it comes easy, you better question if it's worth having. So surround yourself with positivity. Take notes, literally. When you're reading your books, don't just read. I got to highlight. I got to take notes. I need to write in my journal. I got to do something. Very much so something. If I am striving to learn from the material in which I'm reading or I'm learning, I'm going to have to make sure that I am applying all of that to what it is I'm doing. So don't give up. God got you. And at the end of the day, you know, the day got to end. Okay? So I hope that you all, you know, become everything that you intend to become. God literally has a plan for you, so don't give up. See y'all in the next video. Make sure you go catch the one that I already made. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks so much for tapping in, tuning in. Y'all are the real MVP players. The real MVP. More content to come. I need to get more, you know, clear up more storage space and keep my camera batteries charged. But I will be making more content, so stay tuned.